Is AirGPU a good and cheap enough platform to handle the competitiveness of Apex Legends? Or do I have to spend a fortune on a high-end tier to play the way I need to? Let's try some configurations and give it a go. AirGPU runs on the AWS infrastructure, and the download was decently fast with an upwards of 120 megabits per second download rate. It was done in about 10 or so minutes. Apex Legends was released in 2019, but don't let that release date fool you. This game was built on a modified version of the source engine, which was released in 2004. I'm going to be using the AirGPU V520M tier, which rates just slightly higher in performance than Shadow. Is this suitable for good gameplay? Let's see what the game sets the graphics settings at to start with. I'm initially running this on my 4K monitor at 4K resolution. Thankfully, Apex Legends runs the game pretty well on default with the settings set to max. Maybe this tier is powerful enough to handle this. I'll have the Origin in-game FPS counter up in the top left corner for reference as I test gameplay in the target range.
Wings out!
As you might notice, this tier isn't suited for 4K gameplay. Sure, I'm able to run the game at 4K at 30 to 45 frames per second, depending on where you are on the map. That's not completely terrible for 4K, but the quality degrades due to the bitrate limitation. This tier limits bitrate to 20 megabits per second, so quality is poor even if you are able to handle the bump in resolution. I'm going to change my resolution to 1440p to see if this is a better option. And yes, it is. The clarity is much better with my FPS hitting 60. Now mind you, it's not perfect, but I would recommend these settings for optimal gameplay at this tier. Let's try this configuration in some matches. With the resolution reduced to 1440p, I now get a constant 60 FPS in game, no matter what. Every match I was in was smooth and consistent. Even though the quality isn't as it should be, it's much better than playing at 4K. Input lag is non-existent due to my server being in Columbus, Ohio, and me being a couple hours away in Cleveland. Engaging in gunfights and melee brawls is generally pretty easy. Feel free to wind up that fist and give your opponent the old slapperoo.
Oh, wow!
Jade is still not impressed. Too soon? Oh well, I managed to get a couple of kills, but I still need work. Will's not impressed.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth!
Will do! Overall, the V520M tier of AirGPU is slightly better than Shadow, but that 20 megabit bitrate might hinder you. If you're interested in getting some AirGPU credit, we do have a 10% credit coupon code to help you out in that endeavor. If you like this overview of Apex Legends on AirGPU, give us a like and make sure to subscribe to get the latest news, gameplay, and comparisons on cloud gaming at the only place where you can do battle in gaming heaven, Cloud Gaming Battle.
Greatest night in the history of television.